Hey guys, so welcome back. I hope yesterday went okay for you guys. We got all the way to the point of finding the p value. I have not gotten a chance to look at the results from that Google form, but hopefully everything is going okay. Looking back at the first one and everything else, I think we're going to take either Monday or Tuesday to kind of look back at everything before we move on to the next step with the compound interest formula, just to make sure everybody has a pretty good grasp on it. I know it is a little bit complicated, especially just the fact that we just have to watch a video. But when it comes to things like this, guys, and there's a lot of stuff going on, I just highly recommend watching it a couple times. Go through it, write everything down, ask yourself questions on where you're confused at, and then see if you can go back. And the second time you watch it, if you're focused on that part, maybe you can pick up on something that will help you. But today we are going to learn about finding time. So let's say that we're not given the time. I'm going to show you how to find it, and it's actually much easier than you think. We're not going to jump into the algebraic side of it. We're just kind of going to focus on our graphing calculator. So hopefully you guys have the Desmos graphing. Everybody should have that bookmark from class, and let's jump in. So John invested $3,000 into a savings account with a 7.4% interest rate that compounds semi-annually. He wants to know how long it will take to reach 8,500. So once again, let's go ahead and label everything, see what we got. So we know our A is 8,500 because he knows how long will it take to reach his goal of 8,500. So that's the total amount that he wants at the end. So that's our A. Our P, remember, is always our initial investment, and that says right there he invested 3,000. Then we have our R, which is our rate. So it says savings account with a 7.4% interest rate. So 7.4%. So we want to convert that. So we are going to do 7.4 over 100, which is going to turn into 0.074. And then we have our N, and it says he wants, or that it compounds semi-annually. So our N is going to be 2. Semi means 2. And then we have our T, which this time is our question mark. We don't know what it is. So now let's write out our compound interest formula. So we know that A is 8,500. And that is equal to 3,000, which is P, parentheses 1 plus the 0.074 all over 2 in parentheses N, which is 2, and then T. Now, we don't know T, so we're going to write the variable T. However, we kind of got to think about it as X, because when we punch it into Desmos, we can't punch in T, but we can punch in X. So we're going to go ahead and change that. That missing variable is actually going to be 2x. All right. And now, this is what we're going to do. Hopefully everybody has their Desmos pulled up. So this is what it's looking like. We are using the graphing one today. So if we think about this, we have 8,500 equals 3,000 parentheses 1 plus, so the compound interest formula. So what we really have is we have a left side and we have a right side. So how we're going to redo this in order to punch it into our calculator is we're going to make the right side equal to y, because we know that we're trying to graph something. So now we have y and we have x. But the thing is we actually know what y is equal to. So if we want to see where it intersects, we're going to make a line at our a value. So y is going to be equal to 8,500. And so what that's going to do is if we punch in the right side, it's going to give us a graph. And then if we punch in the bottom side, which is what A is, it's going to give us a line at 8,500. Well, where that intersects at is going to be your answer, or the X value will be your answer. So let's see what that looks like. So we're going to type in our first one, and I'm going to use my keyboard. So I'll go ahead and pull that one up, but 3,000. So 3,000 parentheses 1 plus fraction 0.074 over 2 outside the parentheses. Then we're going to raise it right here to the exponent, and it's going to be 2x. And so that's what we've been punching in, except now it needs to be equal to y. So we're going to go back, and you can do this at the beginning on the next one, and we're going to make it y equals. Now we just need to know what y is equal to. Well, y, we know, is equal to, or the number we're trying to find, is 8,500. So now you're probably asking yourself, well, I can't even see the graph. You're going to have to zoom out, and then you'll start to see the graph. And once you start to see it, you can scroll up to where you see the 8,500, which is the blue line, and then you're going to click where it intersects. And a little dot should appear, and if you hover over it, you'll see that your y value here is 8,500. Well, we're looking for the x value of that 8,500, and it's 14.33. So it's going to take you, or take John, fourteen point three three years before he reaches his $8,500. So that's how you work it. I know that took us a little bit of time, but it should not take you that much time on the next one, because all you are doing at this point is identifying what you have. You're not going to know what t is, so we're going to replace t with x in our equation. We're going to set the top one equal to y, and then we know that the y we're looking for is going to be our a value, and so we're going to make a separate equation, or a separate line, for that 8,500. So we are going to do another example just to make sure you guys know what is going on. So hopefully you pause it right here, go ahead and try to work it yourself, and then see if you get the same answer as me. So listen out what we know. Well, Jerry wants to know when his retirement account will reach 250,000. So that 250,000 is his end goal. So that's going to be the total he wants at the end. So that's going to be our A. Then we have our P. Well, we know that he initially invested 5,500. So that initial investment is our principal value, which is our P, into an account with 18%. So that 18% is really equal to 0.18. And then we have our N. And it says compounded annually. So our N is going to be 1. And we don't know what T is. So once again, you're going to fill out your compound interest formula, which hopefully you have in front of you. So we know this time, though, that we're looking for time. So we're going to write y equals that 5,500, parentheses 1 plus 0.18 over 1, in parentheses 1/8. x. Now, do you have to put 1x or can you just put x? It doesn't matter. I know we've talked about that before. If you want to leave it that way, you can. I'm going to leave it that way for now just so you know that it is n times x. And so now we know that our a, or the number we're looking for that it intersects with, is 250,000. So we're going to take these two equations and we're going to punch them into Desmos. So the first one is going to be that 5,500. Pull my calculator here. 5,500, 1 plus, create you a fraction. You can do that using the keyboard right there, or you can just do it with their keyboard. 0.18 over 1 in parentheses. We're going to raise it to 1x. Now we just got to set it equal to y. I'm sorry. And then we got y equals 250,000. You got to pay attention. Your y values right now are at 8,000. So you're going to have to scroll out a pretty good bit before you see it. So now we have 200,000. We can see the green, which is the line, and then you see the intersection point. Awesome thing about it is you don't have to zoom in. All you got to do is click it right there, hover over it, and so it's going to take you 23.06 years, which is our x value, to reach that 250,000. So that green line you see will not reach 250,000 until 23.06 years. So you go back, and your x is going to be equal to 23.06 years. So that's how these work. You only have about 3 of them to do today. Please just make sure you take your time, guys, and please, please, please make sure you watch the video more than once, or just pause it if you need to write down certain steps and identify where you're kind of messing up or where you have questions with. If you're still confused after watching the videos, please reach out to me, and I will do my best to help you in any way that I can. If we need to jump on a Google Meet or a Zoom call, we can do that. So I hope you guys have had a great week. You guys are doing awesome. Continue the great work, and let me know if you have any questions.